Welcome back to No Hair, All Heart. I'm Mookie Spitz, and I am reading through Jonnie Fazoolie and the Transfinite Reality Engine, and today's episode is Warm Up. I shouldn't really call them episodes. The book has 6 episodes. We're in the first one called Birth, and here we're taking it up where we left off. Thanks again for listening. If you're cranking through these sequentially, I hope these 15 to 20 minute or so bursts are satisfying. If not, let me know. Leave me a message if you would prefer them to be longer bouts. I can combine some of these vignettes into half-hour reads. Would that be ideal? Always amenable to feedback, unlike my anti-hero, Jonnie. So here goes. Once again, this is Warm Up. If you're tracking from the book, page 32 of the printed novel. And of course, if you've got Kindle, it all depends on your settings. His chiseled, angular face, broad forehead, deep-set eyes, Roman nose, high cheekbones, jutting chin, and new wave explosion of blonde hair atop his lanky body was rugged, vulgar, and enticing. An Armani single-breasted lavender suede jacket over a Brunello Cucinelli Oxford sport shirt drapes his tall and thin frame. Brioni Sea Island sapphire pants shimmering below, all custom tailored. But after a moment's scrutiny, his luxurious, high-end outfit appears mismatched. His shirt and pants are wrinkled, expensive jacket is stained, and he's greeting her at the door barefoot. Full lips upturned as he speaks, makes him look like he's his own ventriloquist dummy, the unseen puppet master fisting him deep to everyone's satisfaction, except those forced to hear him speak. Sorry I'm late, he lies, always tardy and often not aware. I'm the one visiting you, she smirks, confusing even herself. That's astonishing, he shouts, loud enough to make her wince. Jonnie Fazoolie? Last I heard, I'm extending a hand to shake. Sandy, shaking it, beaming. Sandy Tits from Bloomberg. Pitts, she corrects him. Penny Pitts from Forbes. Same thing, insists Jonnie. No, they are not. Then why didn't you say so? I did say so. Right on, grins Jonnie, still just standing there. Well, this is going well. Congratulations on being nominated, she sneers. Her standard operating procedure is complimenting guests to first gain their trust and build leverage, then dive into an incendiary interview. Are you being followed? He asks, peering through the still open entrance, gazing up and down the empty hallway, and shaking his head before slamming the door shut with a loud bang. Excuse me? She asks, the sound making her jump. Achoo! He sneezes, nose twitching, eyes watering, face contorting, mouth gasping, body perspiring, and skin itching. She fears he's got the Rona, then figures if he does, well, so does she. God bless you, says Penny. You are a religious nut? Excuse me? Why do you keep making excuses, sweetheart? Asked Jonnie, truly wanting to know, looking her up and down, but in more of a concern than sexual way, her personal safety top of mind. Don't patronize me, mister, she snaps. You take bribes, he wonders, surprised and elated by how this interview is going so far. He at first didn't know what to expect and now expects a BJ. Well, this'll be easier than I thought. Are you referring to patronage? No way, Jose, he exclaims. I don't touch tequila anymore. Penny stares at Johnny, wondering if his malapropisms are intentional and if this guy is for real, while Johnny, displaying zero self doubt, curiosity, or courtesy, stares right back. She inhales deeply, a technique her yoga instructor recommends whenever life becomes overwhelming, and Penny needs to reconnect with herself. Johnny watches her breasts rise. Can we start over again? She asks, eyelashes fluttering, face blushing, blood pressure rising, palms sweating, brow furrowing, toes squeezing. At this point, a reboot necessary for her sanity. Have we even started yet? Wonders Johnny, squinting and rubbing his Dudley Do-Right chin. Penny relieved that she still isn't too far from the front door. I must have missed it. You're exactly like your YouTube vids, she says out loud, amazed by him and amazing herself that she said it out loud, especially since the last one she saw featured him being arrested. What you see is what you get, he says, arms extended and head to one side, as if he were on stage, and this moment is the pinnacle of his entire performance. Baby! Johnny puts his long, thin arm around her shoulders and encounters no resistance. Penny, too stunned to react. She feels the chills, not sure from horror or excitement. Somehow both. Penny's dragged deep into the sprawling penthouse, more like a gigantic hamster cage housing manic, psychotic rodents than the crown jewel of the highest valued real estate in the Midwest. The sheer volume and diversity of the clutter in here is astounding, forcing Penny to anchor her attention on something, anything that isn't inexplicably in motion or covered in filth. Let's chill on the balcony, suggests Jonnie Fazoolie, implicitly acknowledging that the interior of his high entropy, multi-million-dollar sky condo is more unkempt than a Naples street market. Despite the domestic disaster inside, the 270-degree panoramic view of the lake and city from this acrophobia-inducing height is jaw-dropping. He slides open the glass balcony door and winks. A bizarre rush of vertigo and agoraphobia push and pull, twist and shout, shakes, rattles, and rolls her. The Chicago expanse, a harbinger of exciting opportunities and dire existential risks. Cool, nods Penny, duly impressed despite her professional pedigree, and after visiting some of the choicest pads in the world. Kudos to his architect, but fire the interior designer. Pretty picaresque, am I right? Gestures Johnny, nodding at the expansive cityscape below as he plows his way through even more clutter and debris on the balcony, making room for them. That's not what that word means. What word? Picaresque. It's not? No. Then what is? You are. Right on, exclaims Johnny, always game for more wordplay. He good-naturedly slaps Penny on the back, only to rebound after impact with the broad, padded shoulders of her $1,000 silk blouse, ostensibly designed for that very purpose. Ouch! He offers Penny a seat on a cheap beach folding chair with a hard bottom and broken backrest, while Johnny sprawls out on a varnished, graffiti-scrawled park bench with wrought iron legs. Where were we? Asks Johnny. We haven't started yet, points out Penny. Not that again, he shrugs. You sure? You sure you're sure? Sounds redundant, far as I can tell, she informs him. You haven't told me anything, he reminds her. See what I mean, grins Penny. A loud alarm sounds from somewhere inside Johnny's apartment. Yeah! Shouts Johnny, leaping off the bench and pointing, fists pumping the air like a panicked conductor pulling the emergency brake line on a runaway train. Right. As if on cue, a black cat with white mittens lunges at him. Johnny catches the feline, together collapsing back into the antique bench like the bizarre little scene never happened, never will. Meow, says the cat, perching himself on Johnny's left shoulder as if he were a pirate and his pussy a parrot. Scratches on his arms suggest either feline warfare, a drug addiction, or both. Wanna pet him? No. That's harsh, frowns Johnny, getting turned on. I don't like cats, adds Penny, checking herself for dander and whatever else might be floating around, annoyed by the cat and the alarm which continues to ring from within the penthouse. I don't like them either, he says, and she believes him. Grimacing in annoyance as if noticing the alarm for the first time, Johnny deactivates it by drawing a plastic gun and shooting at a small target inside. Sorry. He reholsters the light pistol. Penny blinks, trying to make this go away. It doesn't. She blinks again, trying to change her mind about it. She blinks yet again, hoping to return to Kansas. She resorts to checking her notes. Inside her $4,000 tote bag, doubling as a briefcase, lurks her Gen 2 ThinkPad, a few Bic pens, black, never blue, and a $5 Staples legal pad. She pulls the paper. Jonnie Fazoolie has the knack for being the wrong guy at the right place at the worst time. Half genius and all bullshit artist, he's so slick people don't notice the difference until it's too late. His hustle is starting startup companies based on outrageous inventions that investors are unable to resist. Only problem is his concepts are so outrageous that he never delivers a final product. The more outlandish the idea, the more enthralling his sales pitch. Notorious for his biodegradable sex toy line and artificially stupid robotic assistant, Johnny is a scammer legend. Setting out to create legit businesses with laundered funds from failed projects amid looming bankruptcies, he's been too busy overpromising and underdelivering to remember or care. What's the point of doing a deal if you don't have any fun? Announces Johnny at the open and close of every scam. Then people will say to their friends, that guy didn't have any fun. No one ever doubts Johnny enjoying himself, bankrollers instead worrying about getting their money back. Despite shady ventures dying on the vine, his portfolio blooms like poisonous weeds. Johnny somehow keeps his fraudulent company afloat with social media monetization as sketchy and chaotic as he is, otherwise going belly up. Dabbling in everything, he's a pro at nothing. Skepticism of institutions running rampant, Johnny is sus of most facts, including his capacity for keeping his shit together. His chronic failures turn him into a digital folk anti-hero. Live streaming his excesses with excess, Johnny has become a quirky digital celebrity best known for his jackass-style exhibitionist masochism and impractical jokers pranksterism. Johnny had his most recent viral moment a couple days ago with a derivative and uninspired TikTok reel that combined bogus storyline cliches into a singular streaming, steaming video turd. Promoted song playing, he had a comedic fail during a wild stunt as he delivered an act of kindness for an inspirational transformation, finally ending with a heartwarming surprise. You suck was the first of a hate tsunami. Brush your teeth was a common critical theme. You have a bad complexion, was another mean comment. I hate your creativity. You're a snowflake. See this shit. You have weaponized boredom. You'd be fucked if I only gave a fuck. Who is the fuck who fucked this fucking video up? Awful content and torrents of abuse are why Jonnie Fazoolie complements his social media fails with extreme stunt reels, a form of influencer redemption after losing 25% of his followers. These include various bungee and wingsuit base jumping escapades in high risk urban areas, drag racing his Tesla plaid while conducting physics experiments, and speed eating. While Twitter X trolls have a tendency of becoming their online personalities in real life, Johnny's analog persona has rubbed off on his digital self, his followers wondering what the actual fuck is next. Online fan fiction further fuels his insatiable ego, Da Fazoolie bequeathing himself master of the universe, until enslaved by his arrogance and incompetence, a recurring reality whiplash. He doesn't read any of them, instead preferring graphic novels because he doesn't like comic books either, and never reads any real books. Ask me anything, he says, playing truth or dare. Hubris further fuels Johnny's buzz, reinforcing all of his worst tendencies. His credibility inversely proportional to his bombast, Fazoolie destroys his reputation faster than he builds it back up. Until then, Johnny lives large with nobody in charge. Attention spans diminishing. The everyday speed of life has caught up to his frenetic ADHD, transforming a vagabond into a visionary. Too bad few people see, let alone understand, his singular vision, including and especially the IRS and IDOR, various creditors and loan sharks, mortgage companies, and divorce attorneys. Have I been misunderstood? Asks Jonnie Fazoolie, quoting Friedrich Nietzsche. That further confuses Penny Pitts, who hasn't asked him any questions, yes. That's a yes, says Johnny. Tell me about yourself, asks Penny Pitts, regretting that idea. I thought you'd never ask, says Johnny, leaning back and lighting up a joint. He inhales deeply, coughs convulsively, and as if just remembering Penny is there, offers the gummed end. No thanks. You sure? Sure, I'm sure. Meow. Hope you enjoyed Johnny and Penny. Listen in tomorrow for Interview with a View.